Imagine having everything money can buy: luxurious houses, expensive clothes, a feast laid out before you every day. And yet, deep inside, there's an emptiness nothing seems to fill. Everywhere you go, people glare at you with disdain, whispering your name with anger and contempt. To them, you are nothing but an opportunist. That was Zacchaeus, a man of wealth, but no respect. Rich, yet utterly alone. Feared, but never truly loved. But then, something happened that changed everything. In a single day, his life took a dramatic turn. The man once hated became a symbol of transformation. The one consumed by greed became generous. The outcast became recognized and admired. But what exactly did Zacchaeus do to escape this reality and step into a life of true abundance? The answer may change the way you see your own financial life. Because the secret to Zacchaeus' transformation wasn't in what he owned, it was in the radical decision he made. And what if I told you that these same principles could unlock doors for you to experience a financial and spiritual breakthrough as well? In this video, you're going to discover the 5 powerful steps Zacchaeus followed that can change your life today. So stay with me until the end, because this could be the key to unlocking the abundance that's already waiting for you. And before we continue, if you believe your financial life can change, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Zacchaeus wasn't just any man. He wasn't just a tax collector. He was the chief tax collector. That meant power, wealth, and influence. But it also meant something else: hatred. To the Jewish people, Zacchaeus was a traitor, a man who had sold himself to the Romans, exploiting his own people and growing rich at their expense. Whenever he walked through the streets, he heard the murmurs. He felt the piercing looks of disdain. No one wanted to be his friend. No one welcomed him into their home. To everyone around him, he was nothing more than a greedy, corrupt man without honor. But what most people don't realize is that Zacchaeus wasn't just hated by others. He despised himself too. He knew that money hadn't brought him peace. Gold couldn't fill the void inside him. Even though he was surrounded by wealth, something was still missing. And that's what led him to seek out Jesus. But here's what almost no one notices. His transformation didn't happen over time. It was instant. Unlike so many people who spend their entire lives trying to change, but never succeed, Zacchaeus discovered something powerful that turned his story around in just one day. And the most incredible part, the Bible gives us a step-by-step guide to exactly how he did it. Yes, a real roadmap to leave behind scarcity and step into a life of true abundance. And that is exactly what you're going to learn today. The 5 steps that changed Zacchaeus' life and can change yours too. The last one, in particular, is something very few people know about, yet it has the potential to unlock unimaginable blessings in your financial and spiritual life. So stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might be the missing piece to kickstart your transformation today. Zacchaeus was the chief tax collector. In the Roman Empire's system, this meant he didn't just collect taxes from the Jewish people. He also managed other tax collectors and had the freedom to increase the rates however he saw fit. And the extra money? It went straight into his pockets. That's how his wealth grew, at the expense of his own people's suffering. To the Jews, he was a traitor, a man who had sold his soul to the Romans in exchange for gold. They despised him, murmured against him in the streets, and avoided his gaze. No one wanted his friendship. No home would welcome him. He had money. He had power. But he didn't have the things he wanted most: respect, love, and peace. The gold that filled his purse couldn't fill the emptiness inside him. But then, something happened. He heard rumors about a different kind of man. A man who spoke of transformation, who embraced the outcasts, who healed, restored, and forgave. His name was Jesus. And at that moment, something stirred inside Zacchaeus. He couldn't quite explain what he was feeling, but he knew one thing. He had to see Jesus. He couldn't let this opportunity pass him by. But there was a problem. The crowd following Jesus was enormous. Everyone wanted to see him, to touch him, to hear him. And there was an even greater obstacle. Zacchaeus was a short man. In the middle of that massive crowd, he had no chance of seeing anything. He could have given up right there. He could have turned around, gone home, and continued his empty, lonely life. But Zacchaeus did something extraordinary. He ran. A rich, powerful man, the chief of the tax collectors, running through the streets like a desperate child. And more than that, he climbed a tree. Now think about this. How many times does pride stop us from changing? How often do we let opportunities slip away because we're afraid of what others will think? Zacchaeus didn't care. He was willing to do whatever it took to encounter Jesus. And here's the big lesson. If you want to transform your life, you need to act. You can't just sit back and wait for things to happen. You need to chase after change. Just like Zacchaeus, you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. What happened after that bold decision? That moment changed everything. Now, think about this. If you had the chance to completely change your financial and spiritual life, would you do what Zacchaeus did? Picture the scene. Zacchaeus, a man of status, running like a child and climbing a tree in public. To many, that might have seemed ridiculous. But to him, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He was tired of living an empty life. He knew he needed to do something new, and he didn't hesitate. Now, think about your own life. What would you be willing to do to change your story? How far would you go to step into the abundance that God has already prepared for you? Because here's the truth that so many people ignore. Abundance begins when you set aside your pride and start taking different actions. If this video is making you reflect, leave a comment below and share your thoughts. And if you want to keep learning powerful biblical lessons that can transform your life, subscribe to the channel now, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Zacchaeus didn't just see Jesus. He didn't climb that tree out of mere curiosity. What happened in that encounter completely changed his life. And that transformation wasn't magical or automatic. It happened because Zacchaeus made 5 powerful decisions that took him from a despised and empty man to someone truly prosperous and fulfilled. And now, let's uncover the 5 steps that transformed Zacchaeus' life and can transform yours too. The first step was a desire for change. Zacchaeus knew that the life he was living wasn't enough. He had money, but no peace. He had wealth, but no respect. So he didn't stay still. He ran to Jesus. This means that if you want a transformation in your financial and spiritual life, you need to seek knowledge. You need to move. You can't just sit back and hope things will change. You need to take action. The second step was overcoming pride. Climbing a tree was something a man of his status would never do. But he didn't care about what others thought. He was determined to change, and that meant doing something different. Now stop and think. How many times does pride stop us from growing? How many opportunities do we miss because we're afraid of what people will think? Are you willing to step out of your comfort zone, expose yourself, learn, and do whatever it takes to reach what you desire? The third step was being willing to receive. The most shocking moment for Zacchaeus wasn't when he saw Jesus. It was when Jesus saw him. Amidst that massive crowd, Jesus stopped, looked at him, and said, "Today I must stay at your house." Luke 19 verse 5. Jesus didn't just acknowledge Zacchaeus. He wanted to be with him. And here's the key. Many people want blessings, but when the opportunity comes, they hesitate. They want prosperity, but refuse the changes that come with it. So ask yourself, are you ready to receive? Are you truly willing to accept and embrace the transformation God has for your life? The fourth step was repentance and restitution. What Zacchaeus did after meeting Jesus was astonishing. He didn't wait for anyone to demand a change from him. He took the initiative and declared that he would give back 4 times what he had taken and donate half of his wealth to the poor. This teaches us something crucial. Prosperity starts with a righteous heart. If you want abundance, you need to align your life with principles of justice, generosity, and integrity. Are you willing to make things right? To be someone who gives before receiving? And finally, the fifth step was commitment to a new path. After that day, Zacchaeus was never the same. He didn't just experience a temporary change. He made a lifelong commitment to live differently. Many people want transformation, but they keep returning to the same habits, the same bad decisions. But true abundance only comes when you are truly committed to change. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 steps do you think is the most challenging? Drop a comment below. And here's something that almost no one notices about Zacchaeus' story. Jesus never asked him to return any money. That's right. At no point did Jesus demand that Zacchaeus repay what he had taken. There was no order, no command. The decision to give half of his wealth to the poor and restore 4 times what he had taken was completely his own. But why? What made a man who had built his fortune by exploiting others willingly give up so much? The answer lies in a powerful principle that few people understand. Giving makes room for receiving. When Zacchaeus stood before Jesus, he realized something that transformed his soul. True prosperity isn't just about making more. It's about becoming someone better. He understood that clinging to what he had out of fear of losing, it only made him emptier. But when he let go of what had been holding him back, he finally experienced real abundance. This directly connects to one of the deepest teachings in the Bible, the law of sowing and reaping. When you sow generosity, you reap provision. When you sow trust, you reap peace. When you stop acting out of fear of scarcity and learn to trust in God, your blessings begin to multiply in ways you never imagined. And that's exactly what we talk about here on this channel. Do you want to discover more hidden biblical secrets about prosperity and personal and financial growth? Then subscribe now and turn on notifications, because there's so much more coming your way. The story of Zacchaeus teaches us something profound. Transformation is possible for anyone. It doesn't matter where you've been, what you've done in the past, or how others see you. What truly matters is the decision you make today. Zacchaeus was a rejected man, seen as a traitor and an exploiter. But in a single encounter, he discovered that true prosperity is not just about money. It's about growth, generosity, and interchange. He didn't wait for an invitation. He ran, he stepped out of his comfort zone. He took bold actions. And that is the great lesson. If you want a prosperous life, you must be willing to change and take action. God has already placed opportunities before you. The question is, are you ready to do something different? Now, tell me, which of these 5 steps will you start applying in your life today? Comment below, I want to know. And if this message spoke to your heart, don't let this transformation stop here. Like this video, subscribe to the channel now, and turn on notifications so you never miss another powerful biblical story that will inspire you and help you grow in faith and in life. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it today. I'll see you in the next video. May God bless you.